Hi, Bill Barber from Poliigon here. In this video we're going to be taking a material from Poliigon.com, bringing it into Cinema 4D using our material converter, and then rendering it out with ProRender. Before we get started, we should take a look at the files that we're going to need during this video. We're going to need the wood flooring 044 material, and also the Poliigon material converter add-on for Cinema 4D. I already have both of these saved to my hard drive, but I'll include a link to them below the video. Okay, let's head over to Cinema 4D. So this is the scene that we'll be working with today. It's a very simple scene, just a plane for our floor material to go on, a skylight with a HDR attached, and I'll be using the perspective view here as the rendering camera. But before we get started on anything else, we're going to need to bring in or install our material converter. Now I've already got it installed under the plugins menu here. You can see the icon for it there. But let's walk through the process of getting that set up for you. Now here is the contents of the zip folder downloaded from our website. You need to extract that folder to anywhere on your hard drive. I've put mine on the desktop. Once that's done, you install it by going to the script menu and then user scripts and run script. And then just navigate to where you put it. As I said, mine's on my desktop, and you'll see our installer Poliigon material converter.py file. That's the one we need. So hit open on that, and then Cinema 4D will tell you that the plugin's been installed, and it does say that you'll need to do a restart. Because mine's already installed though, I won't need to. And then it brings up the material converter, which is exactly what comes up when you click the button under plugins. So let's talk about using the converter. The first option is the textures folder, so let's click on that. This is where you tell the converter where to look on your hard drive for all of your Poliigon materials. So I know mine are stored here, and you can see I've got a whole host of different materials available. Now the one we'll be using obviously is wood flooring 44, but what I could do is leave the materials folder selected, hit OK, and then the converter would literally bring in every single material in there, which you could then assign as you need to. But what I'm going to do is literally just bring in the one we need, which is this one here, and you'll see it says one material was found. Good. The next option is the renderer. By default, the converter will analyze your scene, analyze the settings, and figure out what renderer it is you're using. But if you do need to change it, the drop down box is just there. Below that are some advanced settings, which there's no need to change for the vast majority of situations. I'm certainly not going to today. I'm just going to go ahead and hit convert, and it will say all the materials have been loaded successfully. Now I can close the converter, and you'll see our new wood flooring material down the bottom left there. To assign it to an object, in this case the floor plane, you just drag it and drop, and then you can see the material has been applied to that floor. So before we do anything else, I'm going to hit render and take a look at what it looks like by default. Okay, so by default the material looks pretty good, fairly close to the reference images on our website for this material. The only thing I want to adjust, which I will show you how to adjust in just a moment, is the effect that the gloss map's having. At the moment our reflections are looking a little bit blurry, a little less shiny than I would like. So let's look at changing that. So I'll close that window down for now, and I'm going to open up the material window. You can access it obviously by the side panel here, but I prefer here. And to affect or to adjust the effect that the gloss map is having on our material, we need to go to reflectance, and then to the little roughness drop down here, and you'll see it's got our gloss texture, which is actually being inverted. It's a roughness input that ProRender is looking for, so that's an inverted gloss map sitting in there. But we need a way to change that. So if I click on this little arrow here and add in a layer shader and then go into it, you'll see that the gloss map is now a layer within that shader. Yeah. What I'm actually going to do, I'll rename this roughness just so we know what we're doing, and in brackets put layer. There we go. So to adjust the gloss map, we don't need to go into the map itself, we just need to change this mix type. And this is why I brought in a layer shader, because it allows you to perform a bunch of different mix operators on textures within it. Now I'm going to switch this to screen, which is basically the opposite of a multiply. It will allow us to bring down the intensity of the roughness map and its effect on our shader. So if I lower this to say a value of about 60 or so, you'll notice the image darkens a little bit as I do, and then re-render, we'll see a slightly different result. Okay, so yeah, looking a little bit shinier and a little closer to the reference image from our website. If you can compare the difference there, that's looking a little bit more blurred, and that just tightens up those reflections a little bit for a nicer result. Another reason that I included the layer shader is because in the next video we'll be building on that, but that's a good foundation for us to continue with next time. But for now, I would say that is done, and that's a good render. So in summary, we've taken a material from Poliigon.com, brought it into Cinema 4D using our material converter, made a slight adjustment to the roughness map, and rendered it out with ProRender.